Welcome to SATO48 the TV show. SATO48 stands for Springfield and the OZARKS 48-hour film challenge, where teams of filmmakers have 48 hours, just 2 days, to make a 5-minute movie. The twist? They don't know what that movie has to be about until it's revealed to them in the form of an inspiration package! Today on SATO48 the TV show, we meet director Josh Kingham. Josh is a multi-year SATO48 challenge participant with films that run the gamut from heartwarming coming-of-age stories to wonky comedies about talking gourds. Yes, you heard me right, gourds. After we watch the film Respect the Gourds, created during the COVID lockdown, we'll find out more about this production and many of the other films in the Josh Kingham canon. For now, enjoy Respect the Gourds.
Oh my gosh! So sick of these chores. These are disgusting. Who likes gourds anyway?
Sarah, you must respect the gourds.
Guess your being gone has gotten to her.
It's time we told her. Sarah!
Ow! Stupid gourd!
Sarah!
Coming! We'll go on that float trip one day, Dad. I will find you. Mom, are you okay?
Sarah, your dad didn't disappear 2 years ago.
What?
He's here.
Oh, Mom.
It's okay, honey.
Ah! Did that gourd just talk?
Sarah, I am your father.
But you're a gourd! You're not my dad!
Sarah, wait, it's okay.
A gourd? He can't be a gourd! I want my dad back. Normal.
Makatoro.
Whoa! Did you just talk?
To. Patako.
The council?
Punto. Totom patato. Tapa. Tumpototo. Tomototo. Pato pero pondo. Topa. Topondo. Pato date. Oh, hai ha. Oh, ya. Eta. Oh, ya. Pato. Tupa tu 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 tu. Tu. Ata manana. Rutu.
Wait, what happens if I lose gourd? What happens if I lose? Ah! Okay. Let's do this.
Patato.
No. What happened?
Pato.
What?
Pita. Tupututo. Tototo. Tototo. Oh no.
Oh no. More than anything.
I love you, Sarah.
Oh no.
This is for you, Dad! Did I win? What? I'm a gourd! No!
Sarah,
Dad?
it'll be okay.
Dad!
Let's have that float trip I've been promising you.
So, how are we gonna explain this to Mom?
Josh Kingham, Kingham Productions, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So your history with SATO48 starts many, many years ago when you were quite the newbie. So tell us how this all came about.
Sure. So my first year doing SATO was in 2016. I had just gotten and transferred up to Evangel University to be a part of their film program. Prior to that, I had done commercial work at my local church back home in Louisiana for about 5 years, mostly just promoting events, kind of putting together radio broadcasts. And SATO was really my first foray into narrative filmmaking. 2016 was very cool because I would say that was really the one where all of us were kind of figuring it out. We were all college students at Evangel doing like projects, but we hadn't quite gotten to the level where we were in the classes doing actual short films and features yet. Some of them had worked on some features before, like student projects. So I was kind of along for the ride. For some reason they allowed me to direct it, but we were all very much like, you edit scene 1, you edit scene 2, you edit scene 3, then somehow it'll come together. Since then, we've kind of changed our process, but it was really me learning from them, figuring out what exactly it means to make an actual film, not a commercial. And since then, the SATO journey has helped give me many more chances and opportunities to grow that skill set.
Your films, and many of the SATO48 films, are amazing. And they take them to festivals and people go, you got that much done in 48 hours? And I'm sure they're thinking, I spent 6 months on my film and I got nothing. Like what is compared to that?
Well, that actually is something that I've had to learn over the years, and some of my friends that had been on my teams and started other teams, or other people I've talked to about it, just like, you can't go into it with the expectation you're going to make a movie that is going to look like Hollywood or something like that. You might have the skill set to do it, you might have the equipment to do it, you might even have the team to do it, but you don't have the time, especially on the writing side, to craft it. And if you're trying to make a feature film and cut it down to 5 minutes, you're going to be heartbroken every time.
No matter how hard I try, nobody cares.
Because filmmaking is kind of a little bit of a magic act of what can you get away with and the audience will or won't notice? How can you shoot this in a way where this scene or this location looks like it's opulent and gorgeous, but it's really from this angle it kind of works. Yes. It's like, it's a magic act of how to make it work, and the unnatural of like an acting experience.
It's like going on a first date.
How so?
How do I make myself look opulent?
Oh, I see. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
You know, put your best foot forward. Who wouldn't put your best foot forward? Lie.
Yes.
Lie.
I thought you said you had experience driving boats.
We're going to leap now to Respect the Gourds, which is the film you watched when we started the show. Tell us about how this crazy, weird, I mean bizarre, but holds together story came about.
Probably from us spending too much time stuck in our apartments and them stuck with their family. I think Nathan had 7 siblings that he was in a house with, so I think we were like, we need to do some kind of creative outlet. We decided to go ahead and do SATO, and that one actually was the smoothest writing process of any of them. We all hopped on a Zoom call, we pitched ideas. Beforehand, we always write down any interesting locations, props, or wardrobe we have. And Holly had mentioned, I have 200 gourds just drying out in our shed. We were like, let's just put this in the back of our mind just in case.
Finally my gourd tribute.
Finally a purpose for these things. They've been out there forever. Whenever we were kind of just spitballing concepts, I'm like, what if your gourds all came to life? And everyone kind of perked up, and Holly was like, guys, give me 15 minutes. 15 minutes later, she sends us an 8-page script, fully written, dialogue and everything. And we were like, you did this in 15 minutes? She's like, yeah, this is such a fun idea. I'm like, this is awesome. Okay, now we need to cut down 3 pages, but it's done, and it's like 7:30 at night. We don't have to stay up. This is awesome. So that year, we got the writing process done quickly, but we had a problem with production. Nathan was going to shoot it, I was going to direct it, but Holly was going to act in it, and had all the locations and obviously all the gourds, and none of us could leave. There were still stay-at-home orders. One of the SATO rules were you have to obey the mandate.
Yeah.
Plus, we were all 2, 3, 4 hours away from each other anyway. So instead of shooting on Nathan's nice cinema cameras, on my nice cinema cameras, we shot on Holly's iPhone 8. The entire film, and not like the commercials where they have all these crazy lens attachments and $300,000 of lighting and everything. No, it was an iPhone 8 in a forest, and that's it. No mics attached, nothing attached, just whatever it came up with. She lived in a small rural town in Kansas that didn't have great internet reception to be able to live stream. So I just told her, I said, here's what we're gonna do. Nathan had come up with the exact shot list of everything, had drawn out the angles generally, so that way she was just checking a checkbox. So we kind of pre-DP'd, like he was the director of photography, so he kind of pre-did all of his work. And I told her, just each shot, act it 3 different ways, and in editing, I'll direct it then. And so,
that's funny.
To her credit, she did it a normal way, she went way heightened, and then she did a weird choice, like she was afraid in the scene, or she was giddy in that take. And then I just kind of piecemealed it all together. It was funny, it was delirious, it was just surrealist. Usually I go more grounded, like family, like slice of life type stuff.
Like Dancing Queen.
I still can't believe you signed me up for this. You know I don't dance, especially not in front of people.
So one of the things that we hear a lot is that SATO48 is like a playground for the filmmakers, where they can pick a different visual style, they can pick different actors to work with. Was that the experience that you had on Dancing Queens?
Yes. My favorite thing to do as a director is blocking. I really love to play with that, and just to be there with the actors. We know the lines, we know the emotion we're trying to get, but how do we tell the story, both blocking of the camera, but also why are the characters moving the way that they're moving? And I really liked that. On Dancing Queens, one of like the little visual subtext, artsy things that no one will notice, but I like to kind of add in there is...
Although they will teach at university,
They do teach that. Is the entire time I had Kate on the left side of the frame, and Zoe on the right side of the frame. The entire film. The normal status quo is being challenged in the film, and so all of a sudden you see their positioning on screen starts to get challenged. Rather than Kate always being on the left and on the right, whenever Zoe starts to kind of usurp her and starts to get better and stuff, you see she starts to kind of now go to this side and kind of flip. Just one of those little subtle things.
Yeah.
And where I was able to really play with that was the very final scene was just a long take.
I actually did it. I can't believe it. This is great. We're going to be on the team together. Man, I didn't think that I could.
I really love those because it's almost like directing for the stage, where we're not fussing with 8 different angles, a lot of different lighting setups. It's on the actors to bring it. No camera trickery, no editing's like spiffiness. It's on the actors. And I knew I had 2 great actors. They start about it the same, but then when they learn that Zoe gets the part and Kate doesn't, now Kate's on the left side, and things are out of place. And now they're at odds, fighting each other in the place. But then at the end, when they kind of come down, Zoe comes down onto Kate's level. They're eye to eye, but now things are kind of back to where they were, but now they're in a new place. So that's one where I really love to play with the blocking. And just with SATO, I can't get visual subtext on every single level with all the different aspects that you could play with. But in that one, I wanted to play with screen positioning. And thankfully, the story and just the way that we blocked it, I was able to play with that.
Yeah, very successful film. Most times that a story, whether it's a novel or a short story or a movie or a series, doesn't do well, it's because of the story. And nobody can quite say why. It's just like, it didn't move me. It didn't engage me. A lot happened, I didn't care about the characters, or I cared about the characters and nothing happened.
Yes. Coming up with a story, I think, is the thing where you're asking people in an increasingly distracted world to give you their time.
Yeah.
And they don't really get mad if the light doesn't quite look right, But if it's a boring story or you don't know what to do with the characters, you kill someone off whenever they're beloved for no reason, if you've asked them to invest their time and attention and you don't pay it off or you don't bring them somewhere, it not only is just like, oh, that was okay, they actively don't like you and don't like it.
Well, it's a cheat. You know, you're cheating them.
That was a waste of 10 minutes.
Because it has so much to do with emotion, life experience, and there's so many moving parts you have to connect, and it's the oldest art form of all of the ones involved in filmmaking, that is the hardest to stand out and hardest to make something that works. The film that we made this year in 2025, we had a premise, we had an idea, and then around 1 a.m., we realized this is getting way too dark. It's what the script is kind of leading towards, it's naturally, but we don't want to be dark and depressed and make a film that's like, we want it to be kind of a little more happy, a little more uplifting, so we got to pivot this whole thing.
Here's your homework. Try relaxing. Here's your homework.
We were writing while we were shooting. We were shooting some scenes while we were writing others. We knew that a couple of the scenes...
Would you call that ideal?
Building the plane while flying it? No.
No.
No. I don't think you should have passengers on board on that.
No.
But we were doing some, because we've had to do it on commercial shoots, where I know that these things are strong. We're shooting these while she's going back in and editing, or editing the script and writing the other scenes. So that way when we're done with the ones we're shooting, the other ones are now ready, and now we're shooting those.
I found something for you earlier. It made me remember Mom. What's wrong?
Nothing. Thank you.
SATO does give the opportunity where you have to write under pressure. Writing's hard as is, but when you know you have all the limitations of the inspiration package, the limitations of what cast you have, what locations you have access to for free, and just the time that you have to film all of it. So you have, great, a montage of 8 different locations. We can't go to 8 different locations. But then also you know there's a ticking clock and everyone feels it of like, if I don't have something written by 2, I let the team down. To be creative in the midst of that pressure, that's a skill.
We always ask our filmmakers, would you do SATO48 again? Why or why not? Yes. And a follow-up question, what would you say to filmmakers or potential filmmakers who are on the fence about participating in SATO48? Why should they do it?
My first couple years in SATO, I did it just to learn, to hang out with friends, or to kind of do the project to help me graduate. But then I just kind of really fell in love with it. The stress of the project, that just forces that creativity. So yes, I've done it 9 times. I can't quit before my 10th year. I got to make it even.
That's
and
right.
So I'll for sure be back next year.
Excellent.
And it is fun every year. It's a good change of pace from corporate work. I love doing corporate work. I love doing commercials and everything. But where you have a full blank slate, almost full. You still have the inspiration package. You still have some qualifications you have to meet. But the story can be whatever. And that is a very fun just change of pace. And shooting things more narratively. We're not selling anything. We're not trying to prove anything. We're just trying to tell a fun story of some sort and come up with something together. SATO really gives a chance to like just have that creative refreshing. The challenge that it provides also just says, we did it. We fought through the challenges in order to make something under all of these conditions. We can do anything.
We did it! We submitted on time with 8 whole minutes to spare.
And you know, in this business, it's about confidence because you're always selling something new. I mean, always, because that's the appealing thing for an audience, well, also for somebody who might fund you. But how can you prove new? You can't. You can be confident about new. You can get a team together who believes in the vision. So for beginning filmmakers, I guess, or people who don't have any experience, you want to build confidence? Do SATO48.
It gives you a chance to hone your craft. It gives you a chance to have your stuff seen in front of people that you don't know. And nothing kind of like really gives like a good litmus test of to how you feel about your work than showing in front of people. If you're squirming and anxious and just like, oh, I really didn't like that or that, it gives you, you now know what didn't you like. You can also get great feedback of, that was so funny, that aspect's great. You can ask other filmmakers, hey, I noticed that your sound was awesome, mine was terrible, what did you do? And they're right there. Even with social media, it can still feel very distant for people who are really good at their craft, but there you get to meet them right there in person. I've met people that are well beyond their career than I am, and formed a friendship and relationship with them, and they've hired me out for actual paying gigs. One thing I often do with SATO is I work with new people, and some of them have become my trusted subcontractors for the productions that I put on now. Opportunity abounds with SATO, whether you just want to grow, whether you want to learn from scratch, or whether you just want to meet more people. Filmmaking can sometimes be a lonely craft, but getting to meet other people who are talented and who go through the same trials and tribulations that you do for their art makes it feel a little bit less lonely, and it gives you that confidence and gives you that like network to rely upon to continue to chase your dreams and your goals.
Josh, thank you so much for being on the show. We look forward to your longer work and next year's SATO48 film, right? You've already registered?
It's not open yet.
Okay, well, I'll take the $35 right now.
Okay.
Just in good faith. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Absolutely, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And thank you for watching. We'll be back next week with another episode of SATO48 the TV show. Once I was in an improvisational comedy group, and you get suggestions from the audience.
Ooh.
And the suggestion was, give each other head. So the actor and I did this. We put like this, put your head down, put your head, and then we just spun around like that. To give it, and like the audience died. It was great because it wasn't naughty, and it was yet giving each other head.
Was it to a public audience or like classmates?
No, a public audience.
Oh, okay.
A paying public audience. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't do that in front of classmates. That's creepy.
I don't know what you do.
Yeah.